In this video, I'm going to be setting up an Epson EcoTank 2400 with Sublimation Ink. You can also use these instructions for an Epson EcoTank 2800 or similar models. That is Epson EcoTank printers that do not have a display. This is going to be applicable to those printers as well. By following the steps in this video, you essentially will be converting a regular Epson EcoTank printer into a sublimation printer. So if that's what you're looking to do, stay tuned. Hey, what's going on? The Printer Guy here. If this video ends up being helpful, please make sure to like. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. All right, so right out of the box, the first thing we want to take note of is that we do not want to install the regular Epson ink that comes in the box. You can set these aside, give them away, sell them on eBay, but do not install them into the printer. We're going to be using Sublimation Ink, and I'll be showing you that here in a moment. A part of setting up the printer is taking off all this blue tape, basically getting the printer ready to plug in with the power cable and turn on. So you can connect this printer with mobile using the Epson Smart Panel app. You can also use a USB cable to connect directly to a PC. Of course, you can also use Wi-Fi connectivity with a Mac. So all kinds of different ways to connect this printer to different devices that you may be using. Printing sublimation designs, you're likely going to be connecting to a PC. So of course, that's the A to B cable that is connecting the printer to the computer, but you can also connect wirelessly. All right, so the sublimation ink that we're going to be using is Best Printers Sublimation Ink. It's going to be linked down in the description below. This is an autofill style bottle. It's the only sublimation ink that I recommend. Now, before you power the printer on, you are going to open the ink compartment, lift up these blue tabs, and you can actually start filling with the sublimation ink bottles. You'll want to verify that ink is flowing, so you should hear the ink start to guzzle down into that ink compartment. If you don't see any ink filling that area, you'll want to move the bottle up and down in a motion. You don't want to squeeze the bottle, but you can motion it up and down until the ink starts flowing. In most cases, the ink should just start flowing automatically. And you're doing each one of these colors. You're going to want to also make sure that you match up the correct colored bottle with the correct colored pattern that is on the printer in that ink compartment. Any sublimation designs you see done here on the channel has been using the Best Printers Sublimation Ink. So I highly recommend it. Again, linked down below. At this point, we are ready to connect the printer to our mobile device. You're going to want to download the Epson Smart Panel app. The Epson Smart Panel app is highly functional. It is going to help you set up the printer the rest of the way, and it can even help you get connected to Wi-Fi. So a really helpful, really useful app. And you can actually finish the rest of the setup process by using the Epson Smart Panel app. All you have to do is connect your specific printer. It will give you some different prompts, but I'm going to show you a little bit of what I did to connect this printer. So you're going to go to this page. It's going to direct you immediately to this page where you're going to be able to set up a product. And essentially what it'll do is it'll take you through these different prompts. So as long as you follow along with these prompts, you are going to end up setting up the printer, setting up Wi-Fi, and getting everything ready so that you can begin using this app and the printer simultaneously. So at this point in the process, you are going to connect to your printer's Wi-Fi. Your printer does emit a Wi-Fi signal, and that is for the purpose of connecting it in this way through these prompts. So from here, you're actually going to be able to set up your Wi-Fi for your printer. And so you want to make sure that your router and everything is functioning properly. So just be sure that you can access the wireless network, so that way this is not going to be delayed. And of course you can come back and do this later, but it's nice to do right in the beginning because that's going to help you just with the overall functionality of the printers being connected to Wi-Fi. Once you've been able to identify your specific network and begin the connection process, you're going to go through some different prompts, and this will end up getting you to the point where you are actually fully connected to your network with your printer. So this is really the easiest way to do this is on your smartphone. If you're connected directly to your PC or Mac computer, this is going to be a little bit of a different process, and honestly, I prefer this method. It's just a whole lot easier. Of course, the screen is blurred. There's some of my personal information on here, so we'll skip this part. The prompts are pretty straightforward, and so really seeing what's on the screen is not of utmost importance. Really, this is personal information that's on here, and it'll be the same for you. It'll show your Wi-Fi information and all that kind of stuff. So now we have gotten to the point where we are agreeing to some disclosures, and now we are going to be able to actually use the Epson Smart Panel app with the Epson EcoTank 2400. You can see that there's different options: head cleaning, nozzle check. What you normally would see on your printer screen is everything you're going to have in this app. Now, if you are using a Mac, you're simply going to go to your system settings. You're scrolling all the way down on the left sidebar and you are selecting printers and scanners. If you don't see your printer right away, that's normal. Add printers, scanners, or fax, the button you're going to click. That should open up a window that looks like this where you can add the printer. So select your specific printer model. Keep in mind if you have other printers in the area, in your location, you're going to see those as well. So now you're going to add the printer and that's it. It's going to set everything up for wireless connectivity as long as everything is set up with Wi-Fi. So you can do one part with the mobile setup and then you can go in and add your printer later on to the different devices that you have. So you have a lot of different options for connectivity. All right, so at this point, you've gotten through the majority of the setup and you can get through the rest of the setup fairly easily. You do want to print off a nozzle report because it'll show you all the colors are printing correctly from the print head. That's very important. This is a very important step. We want to print off a nozzle pattern. You can do this on PC as well if you are using PC to set up the printer, or if you have it set up already and you're just wanting to print a nozzle pattern. You're simply going to settings, maintenance, and then there is nozzle report, nozzle pattern, something along those lines where you can print off a nozzle report. And this will indicate to you that all of the colors, all of the ink is flowing the way it needs to. If you are missing a color or you have lines, streaks, or faded prints, you are going to want to run some system cleanings to get that ink flowing. There are more intensive measures that you can take, but I recommend starting out with that. For more resources on cleaning your print head, for example, check out my channel. And here I'm going to be showing you how to change out the maintenance box on your printer. I'm going to be making a separate video for this as well, but I'm just going to briefly touch on this and show you how to access it. So it's the back left corner of your printer. You have one Phillips head screw that you need to remove. And once that's removed, you can slide this panel back and you will have access to the maintenance pad compartment. Now, to actually remove the maintenance box, there is an additional screw that is on the bottom. You just remove that one and you will be able to fully remove the maintenance pad. In addition to changing out your maintenance box, you also need to reset your counter on your printer. This is something you just want to be aware of when you're printing sublimation ink. These can get full pretty quickly. So just save this video, reference it later on, and you need to be aware of where the maintenance box is, how to swap it out. I'll leave a link down in the description below for the correct maintenance box for this printer, which is the L3110, and would likely fit other printer models that you may be using this video for as well. For example, the 2800. All right, so in this next segment, I'm going to be showing you how to actually print off a sublimation design using this printer. I'm using a Mac operating system and I'm basically printing a design that I bought online. Of course, this can be done with a Windows operating system. The settings might just look a little different. So I do want you to see the settings on screen that I'm using. Now, you don't have to print with the settings that I'm using exactly. You can use different settings and you can change different aspects of the printing job. But these are the settings that I ended up using to print on sublimation paper. One of the things I really wanted to adjust here was the scale, which is the size that is actually printed on the paper. You can mess around with that and print different sizes, smaller or bigger. You also want to make sure to flip horizontally using Mac. That's another option on Windows, and that's basically turning the image inversely. So that way when it's sublimating, it's facing the right way on the shirt or whatever media you're printing on. Another option for this is to mirror it, but mirroring you can't do along with flipping horizontally with Mac. You have to choose one or the other or else it will negate basically doing that flip or that mirroring. And so once you've got that all set, we're going to hit print. Once you're satisfied with all of the settings, how everything is positioned, you're going to go ahead and print it, and then we're going to move on to the next step, which is, of course, it being printed on the sublimation paper, and then we're going to prep the metal signage. Then finally, we will be sublimating with this sublimation paper onto the metal signage. This video is a previous video that I had done. I do apologize for the audio. It's a little bit different than the audio that you're hearing throughout the rest of the video. So once you have your design printed out, we're going to move on to the next step and we're going to set this aside. We're going to take a look at our metal signage, and this is the back part of it. The front part is white so that you can sublimate onto it with a crisp image. And the heat press that I'm using is the Cricut Easy Press 3. I'm going to be linking it down below so that you can get one for yourself if that's what you're looking for. It's a really compact heat press and it's very easy, very affordable. And when I actually put on the design and heat the design up, it's going to be at 350 degrees. Now this can vary a little bit and you can change this, give or take. You can also always check when you're buying media, or when I say media, I mean like metal signage or a t-shirt. You can always check, there should be some type of instructions on that packaging telling you roughly what temperature and how long and all of that. Using the Cricut app is going to be a little bit difficult when you're doing metal signage. It works a little bit better when you're printing on a t-shirt or something like that that's fabric. But if you're working with a metal sign like this, then you can do it manually. You can use the Cricut press manually, and you can set whatever temperature you'd like, whatever timing you'd like on it. But that's really where you need to know what temperature you're actually going to be using. So in this case, for the actual heating of the sublimation design with sublimation paper is 350 degrees at about 50 seconds. You want to push on with about medium pressure. Once you're done with the heat press, you're going to set that aside, and now you can peel off, really just removing the sublimation paper with the tape, and you should have a crisp image that has printed onto your metal signage just like this. All right, so we are done setting up the Epson EcoTank 2400 as a sublimation printer. Again, there are so many other models that fit this category of printer where you can use these instructions with those printer models as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. If the video was helpful, please make sure to like. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. Also, please take a look at the description box for any of the products I ended up mentioning in this video. Now, I have handpicked 2 videos that are here on the screen right now for you to watch next. So hoping to see you there. If not, until next time.